For decades, this place was synonymous with violence. Before a brighter era began, now a new dark reputation is being earned. Northern Ireland can be a very dangerous place to be a woman. Since 2020, 28 women have been violently killed. Per capita, one of the worst rates anywhere in Europe. Killed while pregnant with a baby boy. Shot to death with their teenage kids. They've been killed by their husbands, by their partners, even by a grandson. Abigail survived. She was attacked by her former partner, well-known equestrian Jonathan Creswell. He was given a 6-month jail term for beating Abigail. Released, he was accused of murdering another woman, show jumper Katie Simpson, in 2020, claiming she took her own life.
You definitely have survivor's guilt. And that was something that I really dealt with after Katie, because I thought, why am I here and she's not? All my violent interactions with Johnny, every time I felt like he could have killed me, every time. Every single altercation was absolutely terrifying.
The killing of Katie Simpson is the subject of a new Sky documentary, Death of a Show Jumper. Creswell took his own life during his murder trial. Journalist Tanya Foles was instrumental in alerting police that Katie's death was suspicious. She says the situation in Northern Ireland is dire.
Seems like an epidemic anyway, and it's not getting any better. If the number of women who are being murdered in their own homes by a partner, if that was the number of police officers being killed on the streets of Northern Ireland, there'd be uproar.
Susan Lagden carried out research showing 98% of women in Northern Ireland have experienced violence or abuse in their lifetime.
So I can't say that there's a single reason. I'd probably describe it as a perfect storm. We're looking at a multitude of things that are accumulating together to create an increased risk for women and girls. This is where, of course, we can't get away from our history of civil unrest, and violence within society is going to create a sense of normalisation within family homes. We also have a general distrust in our authority, and so reporting and help seeking can actually put people at risk.
So could generational fallout from the Troubles partly explain the prevalence of violence here?
Northern Ireland is a post-conflict society, and I think there's a lot of, probably some form of tolerance to, or desensitivity towards violence. And then I think there's also a little bit of that attitude of, it's not your business, don't get involved, turn a blind eye, you don't want to get involved with the authorities. That's probably still there from the times of the Troubles.
For years, there have been calls for legal reform, specifically in sentencing.
The system is not working. It needs tightened up significantly. Sentences need to be meaningful.
In a statement, the Lady Chief Justice of Northern Ireland told us that the judiciary are aware of the devastating impact on families experiencing domestic abuse. The sentencing framework is set in legislation by the Department of Justice, and recent legislation means when sentencing, a court must treat domestic abuse as an aggravating factor that increases the seriousness of the offence. The Northern Ireland Executive has launched a strategy for ending violence against women and girls. But this region's recent femicide record will take some time to arrest. Survivors like Abigail have a simple but chilling message.
It's really sad to say, but women are taking the brunt of it because they're easy targets.
Stephen Murphy, Sky News in Belfast.
And if you've been affected by that story, you can contact the Women's Aid Federation Northern Ireland at any time on 0808 802 1414 or email info@womensaidni.org.